what you just witnessed. A story about compassion, generosity and kindness. So here it goes. Jay Kumar is a student of Indian Institute of Technology. He's an engineering student. He's passionate about mountaineering, and he, along with his friend, decided to scale the ranges of Himalayas in the summer of 1966. That is what the story dates back to. So here they are waiting for an opportune moment to start the ascent from their campground, and around 2 a.m. they decide to scale the mountain range, and when the time is right or when they have reached the pinnacle, they would decide to come back. That is their turnaround point, which is called when the journey ahead is perilous and not considered safe. So from there they would head back to the south camp. So he, along with his friend, they start their climbing with all their gears intact. And as they are very passionate about mountaineering, they can't wait for more days for the weather to get proper, and then so far they could begin their climb. So they trek for around 2 days and ultimately reach the zenith of the mountainous range. And there they witness the majestic equivalence of the Himalayas, and after their short celebration, as time is not in their hand, they decide to head back to the south camp. So while they are heading back, the title of the story is The Fall Before Rising. So as they start their descent from the mountain range, they, with the ice pick and the ice axe, gradually start descending down, but the weather takes a turn which is not in their favor, and also the ridge, they approach a ridge which is a slab of ice and snow, and they are not really sure how to cross it, because they are not sure whether it's rock beneath those cornices, what we call them as, or it's simply a slab of ice and snow. So it's very precarious circumstance they are in, whether how to cross that entire ridge. And since Jay is leading the group, he decides to untie the ropes, so that if he falls, he will not drag his friend along with him down. So, but unfortunately, as Jay moves forward, he hears a loud thud and realizes that the ridge is broken. So his friend falls on one side and he skids to the other side of the mountain at a speed of around 60 km/h.
Now, he was thankful that when he fell on his back and he was on solid ground. But the only problem was he was on slope. Because of that, he was coming downhill at the speed of 60 miles an hour. He also knew he had enough of training as a child since he was growing up about mountaineering and mountain climbing. So he knew that keeping any of his equipment on him while he's coming down is not going to help, because it's going to puncture any of his organs. So he kept shedding all his winter jackets which he had, all his provisions which he had, his rucksack, everything. He started shedding it when he was sliding downhill. Now the problem was he was sliding so fast that all the friction between the ice and his clothes were tearing through his clothes, and because of that his skin on his back was turning raw and it started bleeding. Now by the time he reached a flat ground, he was already 3,000 feet downwards. He had already reached 3,000 feet down, and he also knew that he had absolutely nothing to eat, nothing to drink except for a few bars of chocolate. So he knew, and he tried, in all that coming he tried to steer his way by keeping his foot down in front. Now because of that, when he actually stood up right now, he realized that he had broken the arches of his feet and injured his hips very badly. So because of that, he knew that standing up itself would be such a torture, but he knew that if he sits over there for long, he will not be able to get up again. And he knew he was on the wrong side of the mountain from where his base camp was. So the only way he knew that he was ever going to get any help was he had to keep walking. So with just those torn, tattered clothes on his body and a bloodied feet with broken legs, that's how he walked for 2 days, 1 day, 1 night continuously. The journey, which actually should have taken him only a few hours, actually took him 24 hours. And he finally reached a place where he heard the sound of a barking dog. And he says that the sweetest sound he ever heard after that was children laughing. And he knew that he was close to some village, some sort of civilization. He reached over there, he saw a very modest hut in between a clearing, and he was so happy to see that he just collapsed with relief.
So all this while, as Jay Kumar, the journey that he took from where he had fallen till that hut was extremely full of loneliness and despair. So he had a lot of time to introspect of what life had been all about. And here, from being an IT student, he's now here taking, literally fighting for survival. So as he collapsed in front of the hut, a 40-year-old lady, a Nepalese woman, comes out, sees him in that condition, and carries him on her back to the nearest village. So this woman herself is very frail looking and a complete stranger to Jai Kumar. And since Jai Kumar is like a grown-up man and she's a 40-year-old woman, so after every 500 feet she would carry, she would again halt, take some water, offer him some water, and then again carry him on her back. So she carried him for like 3 days to the next village. So it took her 3 days to ferry him from one part of the town to the another, and there she made sure that he's tended to and nursed him back to health, argued with the people of those villages, because he's like a no man's land. He's not sure where he is exactly. So she had to argue with the people of that village so that they take full care of him, nurse him back to health. And after bringing him on his feet after a few days, she offered him a donkey which would actually carry him to the nearest town. And in return, she refused any kind of payment for all the kindness and generosity she had shown. So here is this case where this completely strange woman, uneducated, who cannot even communicate with him in his language, offers such an epitome of generosity which is kind of unheard of. And all this while, Jai Kumar had this time to again be in this introspective mode, that how unpredictable life is and how fragile it is and how important it is to honor every moment of life and value life in totality. That's it.